Welcome. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It would really help the channel to spread around and to help other people to find the videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you tired of worrying about your precious crypto floating around in cyberspace, unprotected? Well, worry no more. Introducing the Biometric Hardware Wallet, a safe, snazzy, and oh-so-secure way to store your digital treasure. Remember, folks, not your keys, not your crypto. This little beauty puts you back in control. It's sleek, it's secure, and it uses your unique fingerprint. So even if someone steals it, they won't get far without you. Click my affiliate link below to grab yours today, and let's keep your crypto as safe as your grandma's cookie jar. Don't miss out.
So, I'm back with another one. This one, we're talking about how many XRP do you need to retire? Well, if we're talking about simply retiring, I would say based on what David Schwartz has said about XRP and the price that it should be to move $1 billion, right? I would say 100 coins is enough for you to retire if you're just simply talking about retirement, right? But if you're talking about generational wealth, 1,000 coins is all you need. Now, if you want generational wealth on steroids, 10,000 coins is all you need. Some people may agree, some people may disagree. Let me explain. According to David Schwartz, if XRP is $1 and they have to move $1 billion, right? They will need to use 1 billion coins because XRP is $1 and they have to move $1 billion. But if XRP is $10,000, they will only need to use 100,000 XRP to move the same $1 billion. Well, with that said, right? If XRP is $10,000 and you only have 100 XRP, that's $1 million. Okay, boom, that's your retirement right there. Now, it would just be up to you to know what to do with that $1 million. Because again, I have said this in a previous video, right now at this moment, homes cost more than $1 million. A condo in New York costs way more than $1 million. You have cars that cost $1 million. So is $1 million really where you want to be? I mean, for some people, maybe, right? $1 million may be, suitable for them. So 100 XRP is all you need. When these other, speaking in terms of retirement only, right? So when a lot of these YouTubers come out and they start talking about how much XRP you need to retire, and they want to tell you 10,000 and all that, no, you don't need that if you're just looking to retire, right? If you're looking to just retire and nothing else, you don't need 1,000 XRP, you don't need 10,000 XRP, all you need is 100 XRP. Also, taking in consideration that, because this is something else I hear other YouTubers talk about, right? Oh, selling a portion of your XRP, when it goes to a certain price because everybody's looking at charts. This stuff has nothing to do with charts. I keep saying this. Now, I'm not a financial advisor by any means. And no, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And I understand that. And I can accept that. And if someone is able to explain something to me where it makes more sense than what I'm thinking and how I'm thinking, guess what? I'm open to listen because I'm not the smartest guy in the room. The smartest guy in the room is always the guy who's willing to listen. I'm always willing to listen as long as you're talking sensible shit. If you're not talking sensible shit, then I know you're a fucking idiot. I'm not listening to you because I have no time for bullshit to be going in my ears. I don't have time for that. So just speaking, based on retirement, as I said, 100 XRP is all you need. I'm almost losing my train of thought here. Right. So as I was saying, I remember now, they're talking about other YouTubers selling a portion. My whole thing is, and I'm just being honest, if you got into this and you're looking to take profits every time it go up, or you're looking to sell when you run into hard times, well, you shouldn't be in this. And I'm just speaking like a brother to his siblings, right? You don't need to be in this. You're in the wrong game. Successful people that invested did not invest the money, and when times got hard, they looked to liquidate stuff, especially if they didn't really make any type of gains, really. Okay? The little gains that's happening right now, it's not something for you to be going crazy over and jumping overjoy. If these little gains are moving you in that manner, well, then I can tell you right now, you don't know money. You don't know money. And maybe it's best that you don't see this stuff go to the numbers that it's really supposed to go to, because you would lose your mind. The little money that is going up should not move you at all. If you have 1,000 XRP and you bought it at 50 cents and now it's up at $2 and how much ever cents it is, I don't know, because I don't really look at the charts at the price. I don't really do that. I just really look to see if it went up to, bigger numbers. That's really all I look at. But if these small little gains and increases is moving you, you're in the wrong game. This is not for you. You're not built for this. You're not built for this. I would not even tell you how much money I have seen personally in my own investments. But if I was to tell anyone, some people will look at me like, and you didn't take profit? No, because that money doesn't move me. Doesn't move me. Because I know what this stuff is and I know where it's supposed to go. That's not moving me. I know when it's going to move me. Because why? I know why I'm invested and I know where these things are supposed to go. You have to really truly understand what you're invested in, and you have to truly really understand where this stuff is supposed to go. And these little money moves that it's making wouldn't move you a bit. So, personally, my opinion, if you're looking to take gains, if you're looking to cash out because times is hard, yeah, you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong game. Go try a different game. This is not for you. You shouldn't be looking to do that, right? This stuff is stuff that you throw extra money into that you don't need and just leave it. That's when you will win, when you do that. Looking to always constantly make flips on this? No. And I don't even suggest anyone to keep on buying either, in my opinion, again, because all you're doing is you're allowing them to program you for the buys and the sells. And eventually you're going to get caught because you're going to sell at a time where you think it's going to go down, and it may not go down. At that point, it's going to only go up. And what did you just do? You just screwed yourself because you want to play a game that you don't even really know about. You can look at the market and see that this whole thing is just being controlled completely. It's being controlled. An example of this is, as I said, David Schwartz. He said, if XRP is $1 and we have to move $1 billion, we need to use 1 billion XRP, right? Well, last year in 2024, they moved a total of $36 billion in transactions. Well, again, last year, the price of XRP was around 60 cents. And I said this in a previous video, but I'm going to repeat it because I need it to stick. So you're talking about 60 cents per XRP, right? And you're looking at $36 billion. So 36 billion, when you divide that by 60 cents, they would have needed to use 60 billion XRP to settle that $36 billion worth of transactions last year. Well, this is how you could see the foolishness that they are telling us, right? You can't say out of one side of your mouth that if XRP has to move $1 billion and if XRP is $1, we will need to use 1 billion XRP, but then you guys moved $36 billion in 2024 and we did not see 60 billion XRP get moved out of the system. Well, that tells me a lot about what the price is on the private ledger. It is safe to assume that, according to something else he said, right? If XRP is $10,000, we would only need to use 100,000 XRP to move the same $1 billion. Well, guess what? On the private ledger, we're looking at a price of about $10,000 per XRP to be able to move the money on the private ledger because they're using way less coins with a higher priced XRP. That's why they did not use 60 billion XRP to move the $36 billion that they did last year. A lot of this stuff is just common sense. You have to think about the things that they're saying out loud, and you have to just piece them together, because in every interview, every time all of these people in crypto sit down to speak, they're telling you 75% lies and 25% truths. You have to take the 25% truths and you have to connect that to the videos. Now, how do you know what's true? Well, basically, that's just really listening to a lot of their interviews and then being able to connect the pieces that connect to other interviews. Because in every interview, they always talk differently. Now, some people will say, well, that's according to the questions that they're being asked. Yeah, you could say that. However, a lot of those questions really are similar. They're just asked in a different way, because some people know how to ask questions to actually get the answer that they want. But if you also notice, a lot of times when they're in these interviews, when they're answering questions, they always seem to look as if like they're trying not to say what they really want to say, which is also a sign that they're lying and they're holding back the truth. There's times when they give answers to a question and they're speaking natural. That's how you know, oh, that's the truth right there. It's just flowing. Because when people are not lying, it just flows. When they're lying, they're thinking about how to strategically give you an answer that is not too closely tied to the truth. And that's what a lot of them do. Yes, I know that there's NDAs. I know that. However, that's the reason why they're going to lie. I mean, they sign NDAs, they have to lie because they can't tell you the truth. That's why they sign these NDAs. But there is times where they're going to give you a little bit of truth, but you just have to connect it. But as I was saying, yeah, this game is not for you if you're looking to sell every minute, or if you're looking to even buy every minute. This game is not for you. You're in the wrong game. Go invest in stocks. This is not stocks, not one bit. Now, when it comes to 1,000 XRP, well, if you have 10,000 XRP, I mean, not 10,000, I'm sorry. If you have 1,000 XRP at $10,000, that's $10 million. That is generational wealth if you know what to do with it, right? But in order to get there, you would have to be very, very disciplined. You hold your 1,000 XRP and you don't look at it. You don't worry about it. You just let it sit. Let it sit and wait for the day. That's all you have to do, is just let it sit and wait for the day, because you're going to be very happy that you waited. Very happy. That's all you have to do, because $10,000 per XRP, and that gives you $10 million if you hold 1,000. I mean, you're good. That's generational wealth. That's generational wealth. Because again, like I said, all you would have to do is you would have to just know and understand how to invest the money, right? Because generational wealth really could be where you are able to generate, let's say, about $300,000 a year passively. That's enough for you to take care of a living. You know, that's enough for you to take care of a family. $300,000 a year, you're generating that. I mean, you're good at that point. You know, that's generational wealth, because you can pass that on to your children, right? Now, you can't take care of, you know, sisters and brothers. You can't do that. You can't take care of cousins and aunts and uncles. No. But your children and your wife, and I would even throw your mother in there and your father, right? You can throw your mother and your father in there and you can take care of them too. Because at this point, you know, a lot of parents, they don't require very much to be able to sustain a living per year, right? So I think you can throw your parents in there as well, and maybe even your wife parents, because again, they don't require much. So $10,000 could actually be a generational wealth play with a $10,000 XRP, which is very easy for XRP to hit. The question is, are you going to get there? That's the question. Can you reach there, right? Because you figure if you have 1,000 XRP and XRP is $10,000 per coin and you're sitting on $10 million, honestly, if you're able to take $5 million of that and put it into some type of account where it can generate 10%, that's $500,000 a year. Again, you can take care of your wife, your children, or your husband and your children, and then you can take care of your in-laws, and you can take care of your mother and father, right? You're able to do that with $500,000. And that's basically you being able to do whatever you want to do. You don't have to work. You're getting up every day. You're just relaxing. You're just chilling and enjoying life, right? At a very suitable range, right? Could you drive a Lamborghini or a Porsche? No, but you can drive a Mercedes Benz, right? You can drive a top of the line Hyundai or Honda or Toyota or Ford or Chevy, whatever Chevy truck you want, or any car within that range, right? You probably even could afford a Tesla. So that's the range. You could afford to live in a house that's worth at least $2 million. Because you're paying yourself $300,000 a year, and you're taking care of your in-laws with $100,000, and you're taking care of your parents with $100,000. That's $500,000 right there. Again, you cannot take care of your siblings, right? But they're gonna have to fend for themselves at that point. But that's generational wealth on the low scale. Again, just knowing what to do with the money once you have it. Now, 10,000 XRP, that's a good number. It's a very good number. Because if 1,000 XRP at $10,000 is $10 million, well, 10,000 XRP is going to be $100 million, right? So that's a good number. So I personally believe that anywhere between 1,000 and 10,000 XRP, you're set. You're set. You don't need to worry about nothing. But again, that is you buying, holding, and not worrying about where the price is at right now, because you understand where it needs to be. You're not like everybody else chasing the charts. You're that hamster on the hamster wheel, just chasing the charts with the up and down motion. No, don't do that. Just hold it and just wait. It's going to go to the prices that it needs to go to. It has no choice. It has no choice. A lot of times when these people talk about this, they're talking about, XRP taking a percentage of $1.3 quadrillion. Okay, what percentage are you talking about? Because again, XRP is not here to only take a percentage of what Swift moves per year. No, it's here to take the whole thing. So what percentage are you speaking of? Because if you're talking about a percentage, well, the percentage that they're going to take is not long term. It's very short term, which in my personal opinion, I believe they already took that percentage already, because they had to test it out, okay? They had to test it out. So they already did that whole percentage thing. They're here to take the whole thing. But just to play with a lot of these other YouTubers that believe that it's going to take a fraction of Swift because they're going to have the new system and the old system still running together. No, they're not. That shit doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Because when you upgrade your software in your computer, right? When you upgrade your software, you don't run the old program with the new program in your computer. No, you completely turn your computer over to the new system. That's what you do when you upgrade your system. So when they upgrade the system for the financial system, they're not going to run the old system alongside the new one, or run the new one alongside the old one. They're not going to do that. They're going to completely switch it over to the new. That's what happens when you upgrade, okay? I mean, sometimes some things are just so common sense that people take it and make it into something that it doesn't need to be, right? When you upgrade your phone, do you continue to use the old phone and the new phone at the same time? No, you completely switch over to the new phone. When you upgrade your software in your phone, does the phone still run the old software, or does it run the new software, or does it run both? I know that it runs just the new system once you upgrade, right? Which is why sometimes you have people that they don't like to update their software in their phone, so they wouldn't do it, because they know once they do that, they're going to update it to the new system, and they don't want to run the new system in their phone as yet. I have a Mac computer. They have upgraded the system to the Mac computer so many times, and I did not upgrade. I am still running on the old system. Why? Because the old system allows me to use certain apps right now. And if you ever use the Mac, you know that if you upgrade as soon as the new upgrade comes out for the Mac, you can't use certain softwares, right? So you would have to stay on the old system until the particular apps that you're using send you an alert email that they have upgraded to be compatible with the new system, right? Now, all of this stuff should start making sense and bells should start going off in your head. Like, wait, what? Yes, that's how systems work. So this whole thing about taking fractional shares of the system, no, it's not. It's going to take the whole thing. But again, like I said, I'm just going to go off of what they're saying. So it takes a percentage. So let's say it takes 10%, because that's the number that a lot of these people talk about, right? So $1.3 quadrillion, and you take 10% of that. That's $130 trillion. Okay, well, if you have $130 trillion and XRP is going to be moving that, right? You have to get your calculator out, guys and girls. Get your calculator out and put in $1 trillion into the calculator. Now take that 130 trillion, right? And divide that 130 trillion by 52. I'm sorry, no, don't do it by week. Let's do it by days. It's 365 days in a year. So let's take the $130 trillion and let's divide that by 365 days. And please let me see what you look at what you're gonna get. The answer you should come to is 356,164,383,561. Now, some people's calculator might calculate it a little different. It might be, it might round the number up, and you're gonna have some sense after that. I don't worry about the sense. So again, the number you should see is 356,164,383,561. Point whatever cent you see. Now that's per day that it has to move that money, because it's responsible. XRP we're talking about is responsible to move $130 trillion a year, because Swift moves money every year. It's not we're doing it this year and that's it. No, they're moving money every year, but they move money every day of the year, to be exact, okay? So as we can see, this number, 356 billion, is more than what the supply is, way more. And you have to do this number every day, right? You have to move that amount of money every day, because Swift moves money every day. So $356 billion you have to move every day. Now, times that by 30 days, okay? So times the 356 billion, 164,383,561. Times that by 30 days. What do you get? You get 10,684,931,506,849 and some cents. That's the number you should see on your calculator. How is XRP going to do that at $100 with only 100 billion coins? Again, they cannot use all the coins, which, and I'm going to do a video on that too, breaking down why they cannot use all the coins, because it just seems like that keeps getting lost in people's minds. But they cannot use all the coins. And according to David Schwartz, if they have to move $1 billion and the coin is $10,000, they would only need to use 100,000 coins, right? So let me repeat that. If they have to move $1 billion and the coin is $10,000, they would only need to use 100,000 coins. Well, if you have to move over $10 trillion in 1 month, how the hell is the coin going to be $100 per coin? I mean, we have to start to get this stuff to make sense. And the YouTubers that you're listening to, other than me, that's telling you dumb stuff, you need to start to tell them that they're wrong. And you may want to also stop listening to them. Like, you don't have to come and listen to my channel all the time, but you may want to stop listening to them, because all they're doing is filling your head with garbage. Now, if you enjoy garbage being put into your head, then by all means, go ahead. But I don't enjoy that, right? Now, you can try to find sensible people to listen to. Again, it doesn't only have to be me, but you can try to find sensible people to listen to. I am one of the sensible people because I'm going to break it down for you and show you why it doesn't need to be that. The one thing that a lot of people don't do that listen to my videos is they don't get their calculator out and do the math with me. And I keep on asking everyone to do that. Just do the math. It makes sense, right? Not because a billion coins at $100 is $100 billion means that they're going to be able to move this money. No, because again, as we saw, every day they're going to be moving over $356 billion. So you're gonna keep using $4 billion, 4 billion coins a day? I mean, come on, man. It gotta make sense. You don't even have enough coins to do that. And you also have a burn rate. If you're using 4 billion coins a day, where is it, how much coins is gonna get burned every day? We don't know. But that whole talk about it being, less than a penny, yeah, that's because the price of the coin has to be high in order for it to be less than a penny. Because less than a penny, when they say less than a penny, they're talking about basically like a drop of XRP. Well, if XRP is $2, you think they're gonna use less than a penny to move $130 trillion when you have to use how much XRP in order to move that? This is where it has to all start to make sense. Anyway, getting off track here. Let's get back on track. So, as I was saying, 10,000 XRP, having to move, having 10,000 XRP is generational wealth on steroids. Generational wealth on steroids, especially when you take into account the fact that they would move, and I'm using air quotations, $130 trillion because they'll take a fraction of what Swift is moving every day, right? Even with 1,000 coins, that's a good set of money because you're looking at an XRP coin price well over $1 million just to do that. Well over $1 million. So if you have 1,000 coins and the coin is $1 million, guess what? You have $1 billion. Again, generational wealth. If you have 100 coins and the coin is $1 million, well, you have $100 million. Generational wealth again. Okay, 10,000 coins at $1 million. Well, you're looking at $10 billion. Yeah, that's generational wealth on steroids, right? But again, as I said, you don't need to retire. If you're just simply looking at retiring, 100 XRP and you're good. And that's just my personal opinion, just based on facts, okay? Actual facts, not made up facts, actual facts, because numbers don't lie. People lie, but numbers don't. That's simply what it is. 100 XRP is all you need to retire if you're just looking to retire. If you're looking for generational wealth, yeah, you're going to need about 1,000 to 10,000, and that's all you're going to need. You don't need 20,000, you don't need 30,000, you don't need 50,000. You don't need none of those numbers. All of those numbers is just too much money and that's based on where the price of this coin needs to be. It's just too much money because there is a such thing as too much money. There is a such thing as that. And people will say, oh, no, it can't be that. Well, that's because you're thinking primitively. You're still thinking about them printing money. They're not going to be printing money anymore. You're not going to be holding, cash in your pocket. You're not going to do that. You're not going to be holding cash in your pocket. Cash is going to be stable coins, and it's going to be in a digital wallet that you carry around with you on your phone. That's going to be cash. You're not going to have paper money in your pocket anymore. They're getting rid of it because it costs too much money to print it. Anyway, I'm just going to stop here. But as I said, 100 XRP is all you need to retire. Don't listen to the foolishness. This is Thomas Bain. I'm out of here.